So a little background about myself. I just graduated in May with a bachelor's in industrial engineering, which is very flexible. And I decided in this job search that I wanted to get into that tech industry, consulting, cloud, everything. But I had 3 internships that were not in a relevant field. And literally this course and this process gave me the perfect background, a lot of practice, and it just literally condensed everything I needed to know for a consulting position. So I really recommend it.
What do you think about the time that it took you to land your job through the SSA Certification2Hire program?
Well, I have to say that I was actually pleasantly surprised because I know that throughout the program, I was very impatient and I wanted things to happen like within a week. And really, like, when I finished the badge, I was like, okay, I'm not going to be that impatient. I'm going to give Julian the time he needs. But actually, I remember that I finished my badge on a Saturday. And then on Monday evening or like Tuesday morning, we were already discussing candidate companies. And I was like, oh my God, perfect. Like I was able to sleep properly because otherwise I would have stayed up all night thinking about companies, but it was amazing. It was really fast. I appreciated that a lot.
What do you think was the easiest aspect of this whole process for you?
I had already looked at the material. I was very interested. I was extremely motivated, and I was actually surprised on the quality of the content. So it was actually entertaining. I felt like I was filling up my brain with literally what I wanted to learn and what I wanted to find out about Acumatica. So I think that made it easy, and it was also so organized and so easy to learn that I was just excited.
Isabella, what do you think was the hardest or most difficult aspect of this process?
Well, as I said before, I think patience. As a recent grad and as a millennial, like we tend to be really impatient and having like unrealistic expectations of deadlines. And when I started, I was like, sure, I'll finish this in like 3 days. If I spend like 8 hours straight, like every day I'll finish it. And then it kind of like hit me that it was a learning process. So like in learning, you have to take into account that you're putting a lot of information in your brain and you actually want to retain it because like you need to have this knowledge for your job. I like to think of it of focusing on the journey rather than the destination, because the journey is learning, is understanding the different contexts. So I think that was a big part.
Do you think for other people in your place, would you recommend this program to other people that were looking specifically to move into the Acumatica space as a consultant?
Definitely. And I think I am a walking example of all the benefits that this has.
If you would give any advice to someone that was in your shoes a couple of weeks ago when you started, what advice might you give to a candidate trying to do what you've done?
So my first piece of advice would be going through the materials in Acumatica Open University, just because you really need to get a sense of what you want to learn and maybe confirm to yourself that you're really interested, because I think that the motivation and like really wanting to learn is a big part of this process. So if you just chose because you woke up feeling like learning this, no, you really have to like know that you really want to learn this in order to complete it and be true both to yourself as for your services of your recruiting company, I think. And the second piece of advice that I would have is, setting realistic deadlines. It's a learning experience. I found, for example, like the first week after being unrealistic and thinking that I could finish it in 3 days, which no, I kind of started like measuring that I could read, understand, and learn 15 PDF pages per 1 hour. And that way it gave me like a very real and like, yeah, very real way to measure what I could do. So I know that if I had 4 hours on Friday, then I could complete certain percentage of certain course. So that was very, very useful to me because I like to like plan ahead a lot. And the third one would be recording or like writing the quiz questions as you're answering them, just because they're really, really helpful when it comes to like summarizing the topics. And if you have to retake, it's really useful. That's just a study tip.